if you want to, and why you're here.
My name is Ellis, and I'm here today because I love science, and I want to be able to continue to love it as I grow up.
And your sign says, I skipped my senior prom for this. It's that important.
Yes. Science funding, especially, and education are so important to me because we're going to be attending UNC Chapel Hill next year.
Okay.
We're both going into science. I'm going into engineering, and she's going into biology and medicine. And so it's so important to us that science lives on and science is able to continue as we grow up.
And so the rhetoric that we're hearing right now is causing you alarm.
Yes, absolutely. One of the biggest things, to me at least, is science is not a political issue. There's no sides to science. It's fact, and so that's another big reason why I'm here today.
So the stuff of alternative facts and
Right.
fake news, like how can we be duped by this? Or swayed by this, or...
I don't know. I mean,
misleads the American people. I think that's the biggest issue in it, is that it just misleads the people, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the gist of it.
we can't let what the media, everything the media says about science and everything that the government is saying about science, like you said, mislead the American people. We need to, as citizens, we need to make sure that we know our stuff so that we can promote an informed society.
So this idea of being able to use your own faculties to reason, to deduce, to do your own research and go both sides.
Yeah,
get ideas that support what you believe, as well as be willing to research and find ideas that don't support what you believe.
Right.
And then to be able to use your logic and your own good sense to get to the truth.
Yes.
That this is important. There is a process. We are the country, and we are here. Because we've done this as a human species, and you just feel that this seems very frightening that
It's being discounted. Exactly.
discounted it, and we're turning our backs to it, and we could end up in a very bad.
Exactly.
Like, what do you think the worst thing could happen if we continue this direction?
I think because we are a world power, if this rhetoric by us is heard by all of the other countries in the world, you know, a lot of the smaller countries look up to countries like us in China, and if they're seeing that we're turning our backs to science and fact and saying no, and claiming climate change isn't real, then they're going to follow that too, and so it's just going to be this chain that will ultimately lead to world destruction.
So, world destruction.
Yeah.
This is our fate. We're going to the end of the world. Yes. So you see us turning our back on facts and science, and dismissing climate change will just cause a chain reaction that'll multiply dozens of times. And it'll just
agriculture, it'll make the weather worse, more natural disasters. It's just going to be a domino effect.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse and worse.
And so global warming doesn't necessarily mean that we have less rain, but it just means bigger climate disasters more often.
Global warming and climate change are directly correlated to one another, and the more our world warms up, the more climate change we'll have, and ultimately there will be, we're already seeing flooding and just crazy new natural disasters that don't usually happen and haven't happened in the past. And there's so much scientific fact to back it up, it's so hard to understand why people don't believe it or choose not to believe it.
So you think it's more of a choice?
I do think. I think people are so wrapped up in the fact that it has become a political issue that they're afraid if they're one side or the other to go against what their party's ideologies are.
Or their community or their friends.
Exactly. They're so afraid.
They don't want to be ostracized, so maybe it gets down to our human insecurities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we need to find a way to depoliticize it, it sounds like.
Exactly.
And make this more about us, that we can make informed choices.
About humans. Make it
about humans,
not
about
politics.
our families, about our children and their children.
Yes, ma'am.
And that this is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much. Anything else that you want to say? Or
That's what she got.
Okay.
Pretty much covered it.
That is really great. I just.